Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and I'm excited to bring you my Giza Dream bed sheets for the best offer ever. We're all experiencing rising prices, but I was able to secure a limited amount of Giza cotton for a great price, and I'm passing those savings directly onto you. You can get my Giza Dream bed sheets for as low as $29.98 with your promo code. They're the most luxurious sheets ever, made with the world's best cotton. It's grown only in a region between the Sahara Desert, the Mediterranean Sea, and the Nile River. I know my sheets are perfect for you, and I'm extending my 60-day money-back guarantee for Christmas until March 1st, 2023, making them the perfect gifts for your friends, your family, and everyone you know. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save 50% on my Giza Dream bed sheets. That's as low as $29.98. Quantities are extremely limited at these amazing prices, so please order now.
This is the Lindell Report, bringing you news combined with hope by offering practical and achievable action points to assist you in defending and preserving faith and freedoms. And now, here is your host, Mike Lindell.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Lindell Report tonight. It's been a very, very long day for myself. We got up about 5 a.m. this morning, got ready to head it down to do a massive commercial, a huge commercial we're doing, and not just one where I sit at the desk. This is a full production. We had like we used to make them in the past. It's huge sets, and this is what we're talking about. This is the My Pillow 2.0, and I'll just give you a little preview. This is the first preview that's going out to the public here. This is the My Pillow's patented fill, but we have the fabric it's a technology that wasn't available 20 years ago, or almost 20 years ago, when I invented My Pillow. Remember, sleep is all about height. Nobody wants firm. We all want soft, but we want it to stay there. Okay, and so we got the adjustable fill, and then it's about temperature. And this cooling thread and this fabric is the technology. When I heard about it, actually this fall, I said I got to have it with the My Pillow. I've been sleeping on it now for about I suppose a month. Our first prototypes were in. We actually ordered this machine that has to make this special fabric cuts, because the fabric is very soft, and it's a little thicker than the other fabric. If you've ever had a My Pillow, one of the things they say, oh, you can feel the patented feel. Here you can. It's amazing. So I never thought there would ever be a change on My Pillow, but here we have it, the best pillow in history, My Pillow 2.0. Great commercial today. We spent all day filming. I just got a text saying they finally got wrapped up, and I'll give everybody a little hint here. We had, if everybody remembers, Brandon, I don't know, I didn't know you back then, but we had a commercial back in the day where you opened up a mirror.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, the mic in the mirror. And so this is a spinoff. The same two people are back, Charles and Megan, and they actually, they are actors, but that's the first time they ever got the pillow, and they've been using the My Pillow 2.0 now for a month, and we had some we made last month and got them out to people for testimonials, and it's coming back just amazing. So
that's the commercial where
the
commercial where you say you're looking good, and I knew you would.
Yeah, you're looking good. I knew you were in that. I was on the bed that time, and we ad-libbed so much back then, at least. It was a 2-day production back then. It was very expensive to make. It was well over $1 million. And we, anyway, we went to do I said, let's just do one all the way through. And we ended up using it just to ad-lib. And I'm holding the pillow over Charles, and I said, I'm not going to sit and hold this all night. And then he goes, you're going to wake up in the morning, you're going to be, and I had to go down the streets of the country, and people come out to me, So but today I can't remember if we really had any funny moments like that, but it was a lot of fun. I hadn't seen him in, I think it's been 6 years since that commercial.
Wow.
6 years. I can't, time goes by, and I said to him, I said, wow, a lot's happened in 6 years. And they looked at me, they're going, yes. Like, I went from, I got thrown in, this would go back to probably 2016, 17, somewhere in there. And I guess look what's happened since then, where, the platform I had with My Pillow has become a platform of for the country, for all of us out there, a big voice for everybody. So that was kind of an update there. So if I seem a little tired, and then I got tonight, I have three more after the show here, three more podcasts, and then they got that new thing on Twitter called, what's it called? Twitter Spaces. I got to do one of them. I'm doing a thing from Hawaii for the RNC. It's some big panel there. I'm going to be on a panel, so I got a big night ahead of me. And then tomorrow, everybody, I'll be flying to, I guess, your neck of the woods, Brandon. Is it Joliet, Tennessee?
Joliet.
Joliet. Okay, and
It's just outside of Nashville.
Okay. So now you're going to be there speaking too, I hear?
Yes, I'm supposed to be speaking at 1:15 on the Great Reset.
So what? If everybody's watching, people now have to, if they want Brand to speak, they have to have events close to him. He doesn't like flying. Okay, so let's get Brandon House. Let's book. I guess you're good for Tennessee, right? They just keep booking events there.
That's right. They've been trying to get me to come there for like a year and a half, and I keep saying where, and I say no, no.
I was actually, if anybody looked at the schedule there, I was actually scheduled to speak on Saturday. That now got moved to tomorrow night. I'm the last speaker tomorrow night in Tennessee at 8:00, I believe. So that got moved because I will be in North Carolina for Diamond's I guess
Memorial service.
Memorial service. That's what you would call it. And I'm speaking there, and I'm going to be talking to Silk sometime tonight. I want to reach out to her and see how she's doing, and check in on her again and see how the family's doing, and getting ready for this memorial service. And so that'll be Saturday, and then got a couple of days where I won't tell all these terrible journalists that are watching our show right now where I'm going from there, but be visiting a couple more states before the big event in California, everybody, which is the election for the RNC chair. And anyone out there, I've been attacked all day by the media. I even had Vice call me, Brandon.
Who?
Like, Vice? The Vice.
Oh, wow! I haven't heard about them in forever.
Yeah. They called me up. Their hit job. They've been calling me all day. People calling me up. But their main thing is, well, what states do you have? And I said, I don't mind you guys attacking me every day, but I'm not going to let you attack any of these people. It's a secret ballot. And you know what? I plan on winning. It's a secret ballot. They're not going to tell you. He goes, well, I called up 6 of them, and they wouldn't say if they voted for you or not. I said, what would you tell? Well, I wouldn't tell anybody right now. Let's get, they don't want the media. You think the left wants me to be in charge of the party and get everything righted over at the RNC, and I'll do that. This is gonna play out, I think, really good. And I've talked to many of the 168, or I flew to them and actually met them in person. I've done that to about 4 of the 5 of the states, and I'll talk to one, just an example. One of them, it takes a lot. I talked one for almost 4 hours the other day, and their person wasn't changing their mind. They were going for Rana, but I still wanted to learn from him. All the things. Why would he not want change, and what does he think is wrong? And once I started bringing up the concerns of what I thought was wrong, I think it got him thinking, Brandon.
Yeah.
And so I think what I'm going to do, you're going to be speaking in tomorrow, so we're probably going to have a rerun here. Is that right?
That's right. We are.
Well, then I think I want to play. I'm going to play for everyone. Um, I guess we could maybe play that tomorrow night, and he could run up 3/4 of a rerun, right, or something.
Yeah, we could figure something out. Sure.
Yeah, figure something out. So you guys, I did I did a video for the RNC committee people, the 168 that for each one that I haven't had time to meet yet or to talk to by phone. I've been in contact with email, but I want to get to each one, and then we're going to go out to California early so I can meet with the rest, and and then it comes down to everybody. I guess you get to get up and say why you're going to be the best person for the job. And I just can't see. This is one of these things where obviously I'm not doing it for the money. I said I'd turn the salary back into the RNC. I was a donor, and I'm hearing from the donors. I'm hearing from people in the inside. We've got to get a win. This is a critical time in our country's history. We have to win now. This has to be fixed immediately. And a lot of the stuff that's already there, Brandon, I do at My Pillow. We've got it running like a clock over here, just beautiful. And you've got things like you got as WinRed, Data Trust, one's like a merchant server. This is in my wheelhouse. You have data marketing, you have that, email marketing, text marketing. This is what I do, and I'm a marketer. You got a marketer and a branding and a messenger. I mean, I got the triple crown. This is what I do. One of these guys have been saying to me, well, Mike, what could you give our state, or what are you going to give our state if you're chairman? And I'm going, well, I don't know how the resources are divvied out, so I'm not going to promise that. But I did promise to each and every one of them, all the states and territories, I will be to each and every one. And we'll raise money ourselves here. I'll come there. We'll have fundraisers. We'll do. That's what I enjoy doing, and we'll do it together. And we will expand this RNC. I've been working now with the precinct committeemen and women all the way up for the last 2 years. So I'm very excited, Brandon, as you can see.
Absolutely. And by the way, what kind of response did you get from us playing the WCCO hit piece last night?
Oh yes, everybody. We tried to get Clinton Curtis on everybody, and what I've been hearing from the people out there, they're very ashamed of it and disgusted with CBS, and then Esme sat there and called me a liar for saying Amy Klobuchar wanted to get rid of the electronic voting machines. She goes, she never said anything against the voting machine, but she didn't play that. Of course you do your cuts, and I gave him access to my building to go in there and film my employees and stuff. But as you see, it was more or less a hit job. And you wonder why they're trying to hit me now. All the media is attacking me, including Vice today. Why? Because they don't want me running the RNC. Now, remember, everybody, this is the left. Well, now, why would they not want me running the RNC if they're, what do they care if they're on the left, if they're the Democrats on the left?
Because it's a uniparty.
No, well, that too. But why would they care?
Because they know you might use your position to get rid of the machines, and then they couldn't cheat anymore.
There you go. That and I'm going to fix the RNC and make the Republican Party and get some wins and fill up those spots. So, of course, you don't want you don't want the one that's going to do the best job if you're the other guys, right?
Right.
I mean, think about this. When you have our primaries out there, when the stuff was all happened during the primaries, it happened to both Democrats and Republicans. I don't want to have to go through the Democrat, that nice lady and her husband who got 0 votes in her own precinct again, but I'm going to anyway. They opened up the machine. She went from third to first. Now, during those primaries, you don't have to go any further than Georgia, everybody. Georgia, if anyone, that's where you take candidates out in those primaries. I'm going, if I'm the uniparty, if I'm over here on the left, I'm going, you know what? I don't want this person to win. They tried to take Carrie Lake out during the primaries, if you remember, Brandon.
Yes.
And we said vote the day of, and all those votes came in for Carrie. or against Kerry, so she's down by 10%. Then the day of votes came in, and they poured in at a 75-25% clip. They couldn't cheat enough, because that's where it's harder to cheat the day of. But then what did they do, though, everybody, after Kerry Lake, even though with the cheat, she still won the primary? What did they do then in the midterm? Does everybody remember? It's not that long ago. We're appealing it right now. It's in the middle of an appeal in court. They said, okay, if they've talked everybody into voting the day of, what are we gonna do? Can you imagine you're all in a room going, all right, they got us figured out. So what are we gonna do? All these Republicans, all these people voting for Kerry Lake are gonna vote the day of. I know, I got it. Let's make the ballots a different size and let's cheat. So the machines, all the Republican parts, let's make it so the machines don't work. So they have to put their ballots in a box, and that turns them in theoretically into a mail-in vote. We can do whatever we want with them. 300,000 of them didn't have chain of custody, everybody. 300,000 of them didn't even go through the Edison research out where all our votes are going to go through out in New Jersey. These and 19-inch ballots and going into 20-inch machines, it's an absolute complete catastrophe. Even if you say the machines, we're not even talking about the inside of the machine. We're talking about the front loading. And corrupt Maricopa County, it was the biggest cover-up for the biggest crime ever. Now, remember, everybody, the first judge said, nope. He kicked it out, and so it's going to appeal now. We've appealed it. It's going to appeal. In fact, I just got off the phone with Kerry about 45 minutes ago, and we were talking about it. She says, I said, hey, you're going to win. You are the governor, just like she is the governor of Arizona. What they did down there was so blatant. Brandon, can you even imagine something the way this isn't everybody? This isn't where you got to open up the machine and try and read a language that people like me can't read, that it takes a cyber person to read. This is very simple. This was against the law of Arizona.
Right.
You can't count these, or you have to have a new election. So what a shame.
And by the way,
don't we show?
By the way,
I want to show.
Just got a text from Silk, and she wants to thank all of you, loves all of you, and they are going to be celebrating her life. It's a celebration of life. They're going to celebrate her life. She said it's not about mourning her death. It's about celebrating her life. And she wants to thank all of you, everybody, and loves all of you, and wants to thank all of you for all your support and all of you that have been reaching out. And she wants to just convey her appreciation and love for the Lindell viewing family.
And I want everybody here. Did we do a push? Okay. I want to do another one a little later. I want Brandon put it up right now where people can go directly to the venue. I don't care if you're 500 miles away. Let's get there, everybody. Let's show, like what they say the other night. Diamond sacrificed so much.
Yep.
Sacrifice a day. I know Kerry Lake, everybody, she just got, she's coming from all the way across the country, her, and she just told me that. She goes, I got to be there. What Diamond Silk have done for our country and the courage they've had. There it is, everybody. Just a joyful, I've said it before, and I'm going to be doing a little speech there, a little talk. And I want to say, I'll give everybody a little clue right there is, the amazing thing about Diamond and Silk, they could take something so serious and add comedy to it, and this back and forth. It was just nobody does that. They were so good at it. It was like, it's like an art, and it was just it made you feel good, but yet you could feel upset and feel joyful, enjoying watching the show. And the shows would go so fast, they'd be gone in a minute, and you'd want to watch another episode, which, by the way, everybody, on Lindell TV3, we're running Diamond and Silk 24/7. So check that out too. When if you get a chance, if you missed any episode, just you'll just stay up and keep watching them, because there are just so many amazing shows. And so much joy that she brought. So it's going to be a great. I like that we're going to be celebrating some. So Brandon, put up the call. We're going to take callers tonight. I know I promised it last night, put up the call, and then I want to get the Amy Klobuchar, the Democrat tape rep. I've said we're going to keep playing that thing all the time, because one of the things going on in our country, and they're doubling down right now, everybody. When CBS comes to me and does a hit job and can actually say the word dominion and bring up corrupt machine companies and stuff like this and bring it out in the open again, you know they're desperate. They don't want Mike Lindell being head of the RNC, and they want to keep attacking Mike Lindell. She even used the term, Esme did, the big lie. Mike's a big proponent of the big lie. Mike's a big promoter of the big lie. Esme, even CNN doesn't call it the big lie anymore, because the big lie was the big lie. Maybe she didn't get the notice. The whole country, the whole world knows that now. The big lie, it was the big lie. Now it's the big cover up for the biggest lie in history. You know, it's just disgusting. So I put on Esme's Facebook, I actually put the what you're going to all see right now. Remember, Esme Murphy. She has CBS locally here in Minnesota. Huge show. I give her that. And she's been, she's always been a great journalist to me and been fair, whatever. But what she did yesterday, it's disgusting, because she didn't even know that all the Democrats wanted these machines gone. Let's roll the tape, right, Brandon.
Here it is.
I continue to think that our voting machines are too vulnerable.
Researchers have repeatedly demonstrated that ballot recording machines and other voting systems are susceptible to tampering.
Even hackers with limited prior knowledge, tools, and resources are able to breach voting machines in a matter of minutes.
In 2018, electronic voting machines in Georgia and Texas deleted votes for certain candidates or switched votes from one candidate to another.
The biggest seller of voting machines is doing something that violates Cybersecurity 101, directing that you install remote access software, which would make a machine like that, a magnet for fraudsters and hackers.
These voting machines can be hacked quite easily.
You could easily hack into them. It makes it seem like all these states are doing different things, but in fact, 3 companies are controlling this.
It is the individual voting machines that pose some of the greatest risk.
There are a lot of states that are dealing with antiquated machines, right, which are vulnerable to being hacked.
Workers were able to easily hack into an electronic voting machine. It was possible to switch votes.
43% of American voters use voting machines that researchers have found have serious security flaws, including backdoors.
We know how vulnerable now our systems were. I know the hackathon that took place last year, where virtually every machine was broken into fairly quickly.
I actually held a demonstration for my colleagues here at the Capitol, where we brought in folks who, before our eyes, hacked election machines. Those that are being used in many states.
Aging systems also frequently rely on unsupported software like Windows XP in 2000, which may not receive regular security patches and are thus more vulnerable to the latest methods of cyber attack.
In a close presidential election, they just need to hack one swing state, or maybe 1 or 2, or maybe just a few counties in one swing state.
I'm very concerned that you could have a hack that finally went through.
Wow. There she was at the very end.
There's also another tape where Amy actually lists the 3 companies. She's missing one, Smartmatic, but she says ES&S, Hart, and Dominion. Amy Klobuchar lists them, everybody, but don't forget about Smartmatic, the one that started it all, started lawfare. They sued Fox News on February 4th, 2021. So when that happened, and by the way, Smartmatic only has one county out in L.A. By the way, we've got the cast vote records for that county for the 2020 election, and it's pure fraud, pure computer fraud. We got that report, Brandon. It came back, and by the way, everybody, we got the cast vote records for Miami-Dade County. All you horrible journalists that are watching, we actually got them finally. Thanks to you for bashing me out there. We were able to get them because it put pressure on the county, and they gave us the cast vote record. Thank you very much. You keep attacking, and you're helping save our country. And unlike Fox News, who won't talk, shame on Fox and shame on Alan Duke. I got to throw Alan in there, Brandon. You know that.
Yeah, I do. I think this might be I think this might be the video you're talking about. Let's see if this is the one you're talking about here.
All right, let's put it up there
We're
anyway.
very concerned because there's only 3 companies. You could easily hack into them. It makes it seem like.
So there you are. That was the clip that.
There you are, everybody. Amy Klobuchar, my own senator from Minnesota. I'd like to do, if anybody knows Amy, reach out to Amy and say, Amy, it looks like you cared about your country to get rid of these electronic voting machines. Why don't you speak out now about them? Obviously, you spoke out then and you didn't get sued by Dominion or ES&S, Smartmatic, and like some people have. Oh, wait, that's me. Oh, wait, my pillow got attacked every day for 2 years and sued when they've done nothing. They didn't speak out there. Mike Lindell did, but they get sued, Brandon, and they get attacked all the time by the media. These are from all walks of life. They have families, everything else, grandchildren, children. They're living the American dream. And what is it? What are all the left, all the journalists out there want to do? Attack, 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 but yet protect companies we never heard of before. ES&S out of Omaha, Nebraska, Hart, Smartmatic, Dominion. You're protecting these machine companies, everybody. We paid for those machines. The people own them. The people own them, and they won't let us look inside and see that they're defective. Defective means they said they can put out fair elections. They can't. ES&S, their owners said that they're all hackable. I was down there to committee. We have that too. We'll have to get that one of these days too. We don't have to get it tonight. I want to take some calls. I promise everybody. By the way, everybody, you want to support My Pillow? Please use that promo code L77 right there. Use that promo code. We've got everything on sale. We've got clearance stuff up to 80% off. That we're getting stuff now for the new season, and there's you can get sleepwear, all this stuff. Some of this up to 80% off. 80% off. There's an overstock sale. I mean, I'm passing the savings on to you. Remember, we've been canceled by horrible QVCs of the world and the Costco's of the world and the Walmarts of the world and the Bed Bath & Beyonds of the world and the Kohl's of the world. They've canceled us all. For what? Because I said, hey, we've got a problem with our elections. Shame on all of them. Let's go protect Dominion, ES&S, Smart, and Smartmatic, and Hart. And there's a few other ones too. And by the way, in that one video we watched a little bit ago, he said 43% of the counties in the country use machines. Tried 97%. Maybe I don't know when that was. I don't know where he got his number from, but it's 97%, maybe even higher, could closer to 98.
Wow.
Okay, so
number 901-316-8404, 901-316-8404. Rosalinda in California, line 1. Rosalinda, you're on with Mike Lindell.
Hi, how are you guys?
Great.
I've been thanking the Lord for the creation of these 2 committees, the one on China and the one on weaponization, because God is leading Mr. Montgomery and Mr. Lindell there as the chief witnesses. They have to get in line because this is where the vindication of all their data on weaponization and on China has to go.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah,
and
we're going to be there. We're going to be there. It's all coming. All the manifestation of all the hard work over the last couple of years is going to come out this year. And you're right. We've got to get before those committees and get this out to the world. So there's a few pieces
to be vindicated in all of this.
Yep. And he should. He's a great man, one of the smartest men this world has ever seen. And everyone, you could go to DennisMontgomery.com. I was just in a thing the other day, and they were bashing Dennis. The media said this and the media said that. Well, you know what the media said about me? I mean, it's almost disbelief that people out there, they believe what they want to believe of the propaganda. It's a government gag order on his data. They've attacked him relentlessly. All you got to do is go to his website to see is Hammer scorecard real? Yes, it's real. Of course, he got paid millions of dollars to build it for the government. The government turned it on us, our own people. But keep going.
All right, let's go Are you done, Rosa?
One more thing, please.
Okay.
On the Kerry Lake thing, when you had Mr. Leo, the attorney turned card player, exposing the entire issue of the voters that were disenfranchised through the inactive voter list, that was the absolute testament to the malintent. That data should have come out.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hopefully everything.
I hope
hopefully
it's in the appeal.
Yeah, hopefully in the appeal everything will come out, and I don't know how the appeal works, if the judge turned down originally, if those can come back out, because remember he only took 2 of the original 7 pieces of the complaint out. The judge said he would only look at 2. Maybe the appeals looks at more, but we'll have to see how it plays out. We've got the best attorneys in the world down there. We've got the best experts. We've got the best of everything. But sometimes it'd be really nice if we had some news outlets like Fox News and stuff going and focusing in and saying, wait a minute, you broke all these constitutional laws, you broke all these laws, and it says right there you got to have a new election. You know, why do you make laws, Brandon, if you're not going to follow them? What's going on?
That's so true. So true. Florida, let's see. Florida, Faye on line 2 from Florida. You're on with Mike Lindell, Faye. Hi, Faye. Line 2. Faye, you there? No? All right, let's try line 3. Lois. Lois from Virginia. Line 3, Lois. You're on with Mike Lindell, Lois. All right, now we're being told to go back to Faye. All right, let's give it another try. All right, Faye from Florida. I'm fading here, Faye. Are you there?
I'm here now.
Oh.
I'm here now. Hi.
All right, thank you.
Oh, my goodness. Mr. Lindell and Brandon, I was so sad when Diamond, I watched it live, Walter Cronkite moment when you announced it. It was so shocking. I was in tears calling my daughter, kind of like Karen Kingston's mother. She will be very missed. And I wish you could relay that to Miss Silk, that we would love to have her continue her legacy. We would be so supportive of her. We adore her.
Well, I think she's watching. I think she's watching right now. So I think you just conveyed it.
She's already said to me she would love to continue that legacy, and she's got to get through with all this. But I think that's very much important to her. And I'm sure she's loved hearing for everyone supporting her to do that. And Diamond was just amazing, wasn't she?
It's just, they're so smart, both of them. But you tell Silk she's just as smart, but the two of them together they made us laugh when we should have been crying. And that's why I couldn't stop watching them. And then I'm still waiting to help market your Lindell TV. This programming needs to be gotten out to everybody, and so many things will come of it if we can get more, somehow a marketing campaign. I would love to be part of it, Mr. Lindell. When you slow down and have a moment, I'm still available to help market Lindell TV.
Well, that would be great. And let me tell everyone what the biggest part of that blocks us from that is, I can't even do an ad on Fox News using the word Frank or Frank speech. They block any ad. So does Newsmax. Newsmax blocks anything. So we can't say, hey, we have a new platform over here. And I get that if they're afraid of the competition, that's, I think that could be more of the Newsmax thing. But Fox did it back in the day to completely suppress the content, our news from coming out. It wasn't about the competition. It was to suppress the news. Can you imagine, Brandon, if they would have went the other way and advertised us? I would have been talking all the good things about Fox. What a great place there. Sean Hannity talks about machines and he's against vaccine. Wouldn't that be great? Yeah, but that would have been that would have been a dream, And,
absolutely.
And no, Sean Hannity is for the vaccine, so it's not. And so is Fox News and all. And they all got, they're pro-vaccine, but at least on this channel, that's fine. You want to do this or this, but there's other. If you completely put propaganda out and you don't put the truth out, or at least the other side of an issue, And that's what they don't talk about, machines or vaccines at those, or elections. You know, if it rhymes with elections, they don't want to talk about that either. You know.
Yeah, that's so true. Thank you.
But we've got to spread the word, and that's why I say all the time to share Frank clips every day. Tell everyone you can about our network, and that can we're getting bigger every day, and great things are happening, and because everybody has kept spreading the word and spreading the news that we are spreading.
Thank you, Faye, for calling in. Let's go to line 1. Michelle from Idaho, line 1. Thanks for calling in, Michelle.
Thank you. How are you two?
We're great. Thank you. Glad you called in.
Good. Well, I first want to thank you both for fighting so hard for the American people who still believe in our Lord and Savior and for the freedoms of this country. So I guess my question is, Brandon, more to you because we watch your show all the time. We watch it on Sunday nights, you know, in the Bible prophecies, you know, that coincide with what we're living in today.
Right.
And I get this a lot from people. My brother-in-law is a pastor. My pastor from my old church, they all say the same thing. Leave it in God's hands. He's in control. That's all we need to do. And for us, we want to tell people what's really going on right before their eyes that they don't want to pay any attention to. And I think that's exactly how they want it. But are we supposed to fight as hard as we are?
Absolutely. You know, the Bible says that we are to occupy until the Lord returns. The Bible's very clear on that. And we're called to be salt and light. And of course, salt acts as a preservative. It stops the rot. Of course, the light is the light of the gospel. And of course, Mike has put out his life story, how the gospel changed his life. And then, of course, as a Christian, if you have been transformed by Christ, why would you not want to not only share that good news with others, but why would your faith, your Christian worldview, why would you not want to spread that around and make it salt that stops the rot? Because, you know, I think of the story of Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein, a Jewish gentleman in Nazi Germany, and he really said he didn't have a whole lot of use for Christians or the organized church. He kind of had a lot of disdain for them, to be honest. And he said, Albert Einstein, after Nazi Germany, he said, I looked to the editorials and the flaming editorial pages, but the folks that wrote those editorials had long since been silenced. I looked at the professors at the universities, and they had long since been silent. He was looking for someone to speak up and speak out about what was happening to the Jews. And the groups that he thought would speak out, they were long silenced. He said, I had this one group I found that I really had no use for and not a lot of respect for, and it was a group of Christians that were standing squarely across the path of Hitler and standing up and speaking out about what he was doing to the Jews. These non-Jewish Christians were doing that. And it was, of course, the professing church. Dietrich Bonhoeffer, Martin Niemöller. Of course, they paid a serious price. They hung Niemöller by the neck by a piano wire, and Martin Niemöller was thrown into a concentration camp. And here's this Jewish gentleman, Albert Einstein. He says, that group for which I had great disdain, I now praise unreservedly. So here were a group of Christians who didn't keep their faith in the four walls of the church, as actually Hitler had told Niemöller, you take care of your church, I'll take care of Germany. He literally told him to his face, keep your faith in the four walls of your church. Well, he wouldn't do it. And as a result, here's this unsaved man, Albert Einstein, saying, wow, a group I once disdained, I now praise unreservedly, because they actually put feet to their faith and stood up when others wouldn't. And I don't know how someone can have a Christian faith, a transformation of the gospel in their life, and not want to be that salt and light. So I know it's very convenient for a lot of pastors to say when it comes to what's happening in the world, when it comes to Bible prophecy or Israel or voting fraud or what's ever going on in our nation, let's not talk about it because that's non-controversial, and they think by being not controversial they can attract more nickels and noses. But the reality is people are looking for a leader. And that's one reason Mike Lindell is popular, Donald Trump is popular, because they're looking for leaders that aren't trying to be popular. They're looking for leaders that are going to be faithful. So to the pastors, I say, quit trying to be popular and be faithful. The Bible's very clear that God builds the church. We don't build it, God builds it. So if they would just do what's right, their churches would explode.
Well, and why would God use someone like Mike Lindell and bring him completely from the depths of despair where he was and not have an outcome. He's using him. He's using him as a tool for all of us. So there has to be an outcome. That's what I tell people. There has to be some light at the end of this tunnel through him, because how could he have brought him this far for nothing?
You bring up a very good point, because and I've looked back on my life. I say, wow, if this, you look back, we're going to look into a great place out here. You're going to look back and say everything had to happen just the way it did. But I look at miracles, and here's just like what you're saying. I look at odds, mathematical odds, to prove that God exists. I'll go, this, wow, this is a 1 in a million, or this is a 1 in a billion, or this is impossible. And when you add it together and consider it a miracle, anybody that's read my book, which is right here, anybody that's read my book and follow me from the time the book ends, just in the last 5 years, more has happened in the last 5 years that I can't explain. Here's a guy that couldn't talk, and an ex-crack cocaine addict, amongst other things, and given this platform, God's blessed me with a platform, which is all of your platforms out there. And it's, for one thing, it's a voice, because that's what they tried on January 7th and 8th of 2021. They wanted to silence us forever. 1.2 million Americans lost their voice that day. Churches around the world, they got taken off Vimeo, YouTube, deplatformed from Zuckerberg's Facebook, Twitter, all that. It was just taking away our voice. So you are exactly right. And I want to tell you, in my book, I had a dream. This is like, it's in my book in 2015, that I would be meeting Donald Trump. And I thought, now, why would I be meeting Donald Trump? Of course, then a month later, he comes down the escalator, and I'm going, well, this has to mean something. So I start getting involved, and I end up having a meeting with him August 15th of 2016. Now the significance of that was, it was just huge. And I'm going, all these divine appointments that I look at, this is impossible, this is impossible, this is impossible. It's impossible. We built Frank's speech here, Brandon. But you look at these impossibilities, it does have to mean something, and it is going to mean something. I've seen it happen over and over again in my life. All the stuff in my life that's happened when you've had 14 near-death experiences, it's been, God, not only was God chasing me to get that personal relationship with Jesus Christ, but also because there's a big calling, and we all have callings out there. You talked about when we talk about pastors not following what they're called to do, if you're not going to do it right now and have courage right now, and you're saving it, I've said it before, for a rainy day, you're in the wrong business. It's pouring outside. Courage is contagious, and we've all got to be courageous. That's my new thing I've been saying. This is it, everybody. There isn't I'm going to just hunker down, and I'm going to be, just hoping all this passes like a storm. Well, look what happened, Brandon, if you want to talk about the elections, look at the 5 states, everybody, that the Republicans controlled the legislatures. They all, like Michigan, they all sat there and did nothing for 2 years. And now, let's just use Michigan for example. It's bye-bye. They took everything in Michigan. Now it's Democrat controlled. If you're talking now parties, it's over. They took it all. But would it really have mattered if the Republicans had won all of Georgia? Probably not, because they didn't do anything. Just like when if they're the ones that they either were people that were either afraid in fear, and I believe that a lot of it was fear. You don't want to make waves. You don't want to be part of an anomaly of trying to go in and see a crooked election, especially as high up as a presidential election. Then the real crooks, the criminals have shown their faces, or the traitors in our country. You don't have to go too far from my state. Jump right over to Wisconsin. The guy's name is Robin Voss. He's one of the biggest blockers this country ever seen. The deviation. He's a Republican. He's in charge of. In charge of the legislatures there. What does he do? He orders a big investigation. They do the investigation. They find all the crime. And he says, well, I'm not going to do anything unless the court rules on it. Wisconsin Supreme Court rules that it's massive fraud, and Robin hides till after the election. Sends me a text on election night, says, ha ha, Mike, I beat you twice. I'm going to sleep really good on a pillow tonight. It's not going to be your horrible pillow. This comes from from Robin Voss. But this is where we're at, Brandon, and we've got to have courage, everybody. I've been saying it, but because we're at an apex in history. This is a spiritual battle of biblical proportions. The 2020 election will go down as the most important election in history because of all the things it's revealed. Everyone goes, that every single thing you look at, you can look back and go, wow, look at that. It was bad that happened, but now all these people are going, hey, maybe we got problems with our elections with machines. Maybe we do need paper ballots hand counted. What would be so bad? Even if no matter, here's the thing, Brandon, even if you didn't have, just on the public trust alone, what would be so bad of having paper ballots hand counted? Like at least the countries that you have examples of from France, Germany, the UK, the Netherlands, they're beautiful and everything's done in one day. What is with that? Why are people going, okay, we got to keep mail-in votes and all this early voting, like my terrible state here in Minnesota that does that, which was doing even before the China virus. We were the earliest state that voted before the China virus. Pretty soon it'll be, let's start voting for the next election when this one ends. What is it going to be, a 2-year long vote? You just keep, it's a continuous vote throughout your life. How about that, right?
Yes.
By
the way, you mentioned if the pastors can't stand up now and do what is right now, how are they going to do it when there's real persecution? And we had the World Economic Forum going on right now in Davos, and they got a bunch of Americans over there, and they're and other people from around the world, but they're openly talking about American legislation that's coming that they're going to classify as hate speech, and what they're going to try to do with that is prosecute you, prosecute me, when we say anything that they don't agree with when it comes to either, we've got a bill that Sheila Jackson-Lee's introducing, that if you're a white guy and you criticize the border or illegal immigrants flooding into our nation, that can be deemed hate speech. If you talk ill about Islam, that could be hate speech. If you don't agree with the LGBTQ community, that could be hate speech. You could be loving but disagree. So they're already lining up to shackle the pulpits of America and prosecute pastors. And you said if they can't stand up now, how are they going to do it when it really gets tough? There's a passage in Jeremiah where it says, if you can't keep up with the footmen, how are you going to run with the horses? If you can't put up with a time of peace, what are you going to do when the flood rages in?
Well, that's been Brandon. Then that's been our biggest problem right now. Is we get to a certain level, but courage has to keep spreading, and you can't sit there. You're going to be called out. All them pastors that just sit back and don't. I've been to a church just recently, and they didn't want to talk about the anything to do with election because it's controversial. You don't want to be political. This isn't political if we lose our election platforms, if we have selections and not election. This has nothing to do with a Democrat or Republican. We're going to play that clip again. Here, you guys, let's play it one more time, because if people go, come on, Mike, you want to get rid of those machines so the Republicans win. No, let's hear from some Democrats one more time.
I continue to think that our voting machines are too vulnerable.
Researchers have repeatedly demonstrated that ballot recording machines and other voting systems are susceptible to tampering.
Even hackers with limited prior knowledge, tools, and resources are able to breach voting machines in a matter of minutes.
In 2018, electronic voting machines in Georgia and Texas deleted votes for certain candidates or switched votes from one candidate to another.
The biggest seller of voting machines is doing something that violates Cybersecurity 101, directing that you install remote access software, which would make a machine like that, a magnet for fraudsters and hackers.
These voting machines can be hacked quite easily.
You could easily hack into them. It makes it seem like all these states are doing different things, but in fact, 3 companies are controlling this.
It is the individual voting machines that pose some of the greatest risk.
There are a lot of states that are dealing with antiquated machines, right, which are vulnerable to being hacked.
Workers were able to easily hack into an electronic voting machine. It was possible to switch votes.
43% of American voters use voting machines that researchers have found have serious security flaws, including backdoors.
We know how vulnerable now our systems were. I know the hackathon that took place last year, where virtually every machine was broken into fairly quickly.
I actually held a demonstration for my colleagues here at the Capitol, where we brought in folks who, before our eyes, hacked election machines. Those that are being used in many states.
Aging systems also frequently rely on unsupported software like Windows XP and 2000, which may not receive regular security patches and are thus more vulnerable to the latest methods of cyber attack.
In a close presidential election, they just need to hack one swing state, or maybe one or two, or maybe just a few counties in one swing state.
I'm very concerned that you could have a hack that finally went through.
There you go.
Hey, Brandon, I want to, if you can, have Logan there. We'll put that up on Frank Clips, and I want everyone just to keep sharing that every day. I mean, maybe it'll sink in. Maybe we'll get, this is an invite. I want to do an invite here before we take the last few callers. I have a special invite. I would like to invite Amy Klobuchar on our show. That's Amy Klobuchar. You are invited on my show. You know how to get a hold of me. Reach out, and we'd love to have you on to say your concerns over the electronic voting machines. I would like to get a hold of Elon Musk. Another shout out to Elon Musk. Elon Musk, I would love to meet you with one of our guys to show you. Give me an hour, we'll show it to you. Your concerns would go beyond anything you've ever seen ever. I'm sure you probably have somewhat knowledge of what you'd be shown, but this would be 100% confirmed, and you have one of the biggest voices in the world right now, and we could use your help. The other one I would like to talk to old Jimmy Kimmel again. Jimmy, if you'd like me to come on your show, here I am. It could be heck, I think we got our anniversary coming up, Jimmy. So that would be a good thing. We could do it, and you could maybe you could apologize on your show and say, you know what, here's all the things that have been found since then. Mike was right. We've got problems with our voting machines. Let's do a paper ballots hand counted. You could make a joke out of it. You're not very good at balancing the truth with the joke. You make a joke and then hide the truth. But we'll forgive you for that if you'd come clean, Jimmy. You'd probably double your audience Brandon, you think he would if he'd make international news if he actually reported the truth, right?
Absolutely. They've lost about most of these nighttime so-called comedians who really aren't funny. The numerous polls have shown they've lost about half their audience, and some of them have even admitted it.
Because they're making fun of it's different. When you're making fun of people out there that are telling the truth, it's different than, they're taking, when you talk politics and they're making fun, you're making fun of both sides, or you're making fun, it's comedy. But when you got a narrative where it's a one-sided narrative where all you're doing is trying to suppress the truth and attack. And that's what they do. They're all doing that. It's all part of all the horrible journalists. We have some of the biggest audience in the country of journalists, Brandon. They're all watching. It's just their favorite show right here. Boom. They get to go, Mike Lindell said this, and, they, of course, they probably realize, I wonder what Mike's going to talk about tonight. I know. I could give you a guess. Get rid of the electronic voting machine. Now, the last person I'm going to invite, Alan Duke, you need to come on here and explain why you've been in hiding. Alan, and explain to the world why you spent 2 years covering up stuff on Twitter and Facebook, and now you don't cover up anything anymore. You know why? Because everything was true that you covered up and said was false. What is he going to do with his business now, Brandon? What is Alan Duke going to do? Are you worried about Alan?
No, not really.
Shame on you, Alan Duke. Let's take a couple more.
Let's go to Lois. Lois, let's try Lois again in Virginia, line 2. Hi, Lois.
Hi there. It's an honor to talk to you, Mike. You're a leader and an inspiration. And Brandon, I love your show.
Thank you, Lois.
Mike, thank you for always giving credit to the Lord and for all you've done to organize Americans to get rid of the election machines and to help people overcome addiction. I loved your book, loved the My Pillow products, and I loved Frank's speech. I was so sad to hear about Diamond's passing, and she and Silk had so much courage and, like you said, a gift to tell the cold, hard truth with a sense of humor.
Yeah.
Computer machine fraud has been a reality since the 1970s. I was wondering if you're familiar with an article that I read back in 1988 in the November 7th, 1988 issue of the New Yorker magazine called Annals of Democracy by Ronnie Duggar. It explained how programmers can write the source code to favor one candidate, and there's no way to audit the results. You can read it online. I'd recommend it to both of you and everybody listening.
Right.
Thank you,
Well,
thank you, Lois.
Thank you. And we've had Clinton Curtis. We were going to try and get him on tonight, guys. He wrote the first. He wrote the algorithms, and they used it in our elections. He wrote the first ones, the 5149 algorithm. He showed it here at the Moment of Truth Summit, and so all the truth is out there. And what's really something is we get to a certain point here, and I think we're going to have just one whole station where it's nonstop, where you have them say there's no evidence, and then the next thing, here's the evidence. Or you have like Esme Murphy at CBS saying Amy Klobuchar never said to get rid of the machines, and then you have her saying that, and then you have Amy saying get rid of the machine. Kamala Harris never said get rid of the machines. You have Kamala Harris saying get rid of the machine. So I think we're going to do that, Brand. There's so many things I want to do, but I want to, before we leave tonight, I want to tell everybody, she brought up addiction. If what we have going on in our country is it's a toxic blend of two things. One is two bad things. You got all opened up these borders with the fentanyl pouring in at the highest level ever, and then combined with people that are out there that are feeling hopeless, where addictions have manifested and gotten worse, or even people have started new addictions because they're masking pain, they're feeling hopeless. You got those two, and it's killing people. It's murder is what it is. What they're doing with even that border open, the drugs pouring in, it's absolute murder. And the dealers are out there now selling drugs, and they don't know laced or not laced, or they're lacing them. It's murder. And but you have that, and everybody, if you know someone in addiction, I want you, if Logan, if you can put it up there, the Lindell Recovery Network.org, Lindell Recovery Network.org. It's free, everybody. Get somebody there that you love, go there yourself. If you think, well, am I addicted or I'm not addicted? Let me tell you what, addiction affects everybody, no matter how many forks you eat with. And it's not just some homeless guy in the street. There's so many functioning addicts out there because, it's an escape. It's mass pain, and it's horrific what's going on. Get to the Lindell Recovery Network. Getting off of all your addictions is just a bonus, everybody. This will lead you to a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. And that's what we're in for. We're in the greatest revival in history for Jesus. And just enjoy where we're at, everybody. This is the greatest time in history to be alive, because it's going to look back and say this all had to happen. God's had his hand in all of this. And God bless you all. And we'll see you. I'm going to be a rerun tomorrow night. Brandon, I don't know if I'm going to get back on here because I'm going to be out campaigning, get out there in California, and I want to win that RNC chairmanship because I know we can get this righted and better than ever. The best return on your investment for donors in the history of the RNC. So God bless.
That's the Lindell Report, folks. Be sure to support Mike's work and get yourself some great products as well. MyPillow.com, sheets, towels, blankets, pet beds, slippers, sandals, mattresses, mattress toppers, robes, and so much more. MyPillow.com. Use that promo code L77. You get savings and you support Mike's work and Lindell TV. And that same code works at MyStore.com, the home for American entrepreneurs, started by Mike Lindell. Check it out, MyStore.com. Also, the famous My Coffee is there, medium, light, dark roast, whole bean, ground, coffee pod, non-GMO, organic. You're going to love it. MyStore.com. Thanks for watching. Take care. You're watching Lindell TV.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and I want to thank each and every one of you for your support by bringing you the pillow that started it all. Get my standard My Pillow, regularly $49.98, now only $19.98 with your promo code. Just like all of you, I've tried every pillow out there, and none of them worked. That's why I invented My Pillow. My patented fill adjusts your exact individual